Festival without beans? Mbanu. Then let me cook my own.
When Ekembo entered room 6 in the big compound, all the neighbors clapped their hands and smiled. That room used to belong to Madame Patricia, the woman who cooked food like hotel buffet, jollof that could wake a dead man, pepper soup that healed fever. Every evening, the compound used to smell like Mr. Big's kitchen. So when Ekembo arrived, everybody expected another round of enjoyment. Maybe this one will even be better than Madame Patricia. Yes, so maybe she will cook fried rice every Sunday. But Ekembo entered with only one small bag of clothes on her head, and in her hand, a huge sack of beans. She dragged it across the cement floor. Grrr, coo! All the neighbors stopped what they were doing. Children dropped their football. Mama Nkechi left her basin of water half poured. Even Papa Ifeanyi removed his radio earphone. Everybody turned and watched as Ekembo balanced the sack at her door, wiped her sweat and said, "Yes, I and my beans have arrived." The neighbors looked at each other in silence. Then Mama Uju whispered, "Maybe she's just stocking food for 1 year." That evening, instead of the sweet aroma of stew or okra soup, the whole compound was attacked with the thick smell of boiling beans. The bean smell entered every room. Room 1, room 3, even room 9 at the backyard. Children started to cough. Women waved their wrappers at the air. Papa Ifeanyi shouted from his veranda, "Who they punish us with beans?" When the pot finally came down, Ekembo carried her plastic chair, placed a loaf of bread on her lap, and began to sing love songs to beans. "Beans, oh my sugar, beans, oh my honey." She dipped bread inside the beans, closed her eyes, chewed loudly. The neighbors gathered around in shock. Mama Nkechi asked carefully, "Sister, now beans you cook for first day?" Ekembo smiled proudly with beans on her lips. "Yes, so not just first day, tomorrow, next week, next year, it is beans forever." The whole compound shouted at once, "Ha!" From that day, neighbors realized their new roommate was not ordinary. On Christmas morning, the compound was bubbling with joy. Radios were shouting Christmas songs, children were running around with new slippers, women were frying meat, and the air was heavy with the smell of stew, fried rice, and chicken. The neighbors greeted one another. "Merry Christmas, so! Same to you, my neighbor." When they reached Ekembo, they added, "Merry Christmas, Ekembo! Today we shall finally taste your rice and stew." Everybody was excited because they believed no human being could resist cooking rice on Christmas Day. But when the time came, while room 2 was frying turkey, room 4 was boiling jollof, and room 8 was grilling chicken, Ekembo's fire was doing pokokpokpokpo under one giant pot of beans. The smell spread like government announcement. Mama Nkiru, who was seasoning her chicken, dropped her spoon and shouted,
"Ekembo, if beans finish in this street, now you are go hold responsible."
Papa Chima, who was polishing his shoe at the corridor, shook his head. But Ekembo didn't care. She only lifted her wooden spoon like microphone, raised her enamel plate high, and answered proudly, "Let me be beans, at least beans sweet." The neighbors scattered in laughter. Some clapped, others held their waist. But Ekembo just smiled, opened her bread, dipped it inside her Christmas beans, and began to eat as if she was in paradise.
"Beansu, my sugar, beansu, my honey."
While other compounds were sharing jollof rice with chicken leg, she was sharing beans with akara balls. Papa Ifeanyi even carried his plate of fried rice near her door and begged, "Ekembo, abeg, taste my rice more." Ekembo just hissed and replied, "If you like, eat rice to next year. Now beans go stay stand by me like best friend." Ekembo never attended any occasion unless beans was involved. Before she even promised you attendance, she would first ask in a serious tone, "Excuse me, will beans be part of the menu?" If the answer was no, She would fold her arms proudly and reply, "I don't want to go home on an empty stomach. In that case, count me out." So birthdays, weddings, naming ceremonies, even child dedication, Ekembo was nowhere to be found. But then came the great village festival, the one everybody was talking about. Rumors spread that different delicacies would be made: jollof rice, fried rice, pounded yam, pepper soup, nkwobi, suya. The whole town buzzed with excitement. When Ekembo heard this, she frowned, tapped her chin, and finally said to herself, "Let me risk it. Maybe, just maybe, beans will be hiding somewhere among the food." On the day of the great village festival of Umokoro, the drums began to beat, the flutes began to sing, and the villagers gathered from every corner. There was food everywhere: jollof rice, pounded yam, pepper soup, goat's meat, and fried plantain. But Ekembo's eyes, they were not looking at any of those. Her eyes were searching, her nose was sniffing. Where is the beans? Where is the beans? But at last, no pot of beans was in sight. Ekembo hissed, shook her wrapper and said,
"Festival without beans? Mbanu. Then let me cook my own."
She brought out her small bag of beans, poured it into the pot, and set fire to the wood fire. Soon, the beans began to boil, and the aroma rose like incense to the sky. Palm oil turned it red, crayfish gave it voice, pepper gave it fire. The whole square went silent. Men beating drums stopped. Women frying meat forgot their pants. Everyone lifted their nose and asked, "Chineke, what is this sweet smell?" They rushed to Ekembo. By then, she had already toasted bread and was dipping it into the steaming beans. "Ekembo, please, just one spoon," they begged, holding their plates. Ekembo smiled like a queen and began to share. The fried rice was abandoned, jollof forgotten, pepper soup rejected. That day, it was beans and bread that ruled the festival. After the festival, the villagers gathered and said, "Ekembo, because of you, beans and bread have entered the history of Umokoro. From today, we crown you being queen." They brought wrappers, beads, and even a wooden crown. Everyone shouted, "Long live the bean queen!" But Ekembo just looked at the crown and hissed,
"If this crown is not made of beans, carry it away, oh. You people want me to wear empty glory."
The whole village burst into laughter. From that day, the proverb was born: if you want to please a bean queen, don't bring her crown, bring her beans. From that moment, no wedding, no child dedication, no festival in Umokoro was ever complete without beans and bread. Moral lesson: be proud of what you love, even if others mock you.